Hey everybody, we are actually in the eye wall of a slightly stronger Ada. It is unbelievable. Whipping here.
This old job is always causing stress.
I'm touching the truck here.
All I ever do is work. I don't get no rest.
Man, I got some video footage.
Night is on the way.
Crazy. Let me see if I can get outside.
Down in trouble water.
You just wouldn't believe how much rock in the truck is. Oh shit.
Oh, man, drunk donkey IPA. Let that magic mango chase my blues away.
We're in the eye of Ada here in Key Largo.
Among my friends.
Tremendous weather.
I swear the page goes live again.
Coming in. Currently.
I just got a $4,000 loan since
I'm semi-protected here by my truck, so no worries, but semi-protected. I don't want to get the camera wet, but man, the trees beside me are completely sideways. I'm not sure what the gusts are, but definitely this is the tropical storm. I think we're seeing a little higher gusts. I got the back turn right now and trying to keep the camera from getting wet. We're in Key Largo. We're in the eye of Ada.
All right, what's up? What's up, everybody? Oh my goodness, I was running to get my coffee, and I did it. I think I did it. We got YouTube working. What's up, YouTube? What's up? Oh, we got Facebook on. What's happening? And we got the timer done, and we got Longo on my lap. It's victory here at our little studios. So what's up? Let's chit chat for a minute. Then we're going to get right into the weather. I don't know if I'm going to like that chit chatting at the end thing, because that's just not what we've done all these years. Right, Longo? Everybody was worried about Longo. Shelly said that people were messaging her, asking, is Longo okay? Yeah, he's okay. He's actually, hey, listen, big night for Longo last night. First night out of his, you don't call it a cage, do you? It was his first night all night. Look at him, he is so tired. He did it. He made it through the night without causing trouble, and he let us sleep. You did it. You're a big boy. You're officially grown up. 10 months old almost now. Crazy, right? Morning, James, over on YouTube. Good morning there, Jill Lynn. Morning, Steve. What's cooking? Charlene, morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Got some big-time spring weather happening. Tornadoes the last couple days. Got our brew crew rolling over there. Hurry, Mike, hurry. I made it. I made it. Puppy jail. Puppy jail. You want to go to your puppy jail? He's the cutest little guy. Look at him. He's such a good boy. Longo. We never knew that he was going to be long. Like, really long. He's got the longest legs. Morgan Walker, morning. Savannah. What's up, Richard Reimer? Morning, buddy. Getting ready for a little chilly air. Brandy from Huntsville, Arkansas. Or are you just being such a good boy today? I might just keep you on my lap the whole day. What do you think about that? We got 2 yawns. Let's try to get 3. Ready? Here it comes. Yeah, Shelly wants to borrow them. We got some fun stuff to talk about. What's up, Deborah? From morning there. He's tired from snooping around all night. Snoop Dogg. Call you Snoop Dogg. Well, we got big storms happening right now. We're going to talk about it. We got folks in the upper Gulf, including my home state of Florida, going to be watching these tonight. So I know we got storms all over the place, but most of our people that watch us are along the Gulf and the Atlantic coastline. So we'll talk a lot about that here in a little bit. We got cold weather on the way. That's number 3. What do you think, buddy? This is our 3rd Frenchie. Everybody said, there's no way you're going to get another calm Frenchie. Look, we made him calm. He's a good boy. Want to try the hat? We don't have the hats out. Another day for the hats. Darcel from North Carolina. Good morning. I haven't seen your face in a while. Brandy. I've been to Huntsville a few times. Deborah, what's up? Well, we'll be live on Friday, maybe. It's such a crazy couple months always. Monday I got had another conflict of interest. Emily softball comes first. There really wasn't a lot to talk about Monday, but I did a 90-second reel, keep everybody going on. So we'll let you know. You can always go to the website here, right on the very top of our Daily Brew. Daily Brew brought to you by our good friends at Storm Smart over there on YouTube. You can always watch it on our YouTube channel whenever you want, right, buddy? But look at you. You got like good posture. He's such a good dog. 10 months old you are now, buddy. Crazy. 10 months. You're almost a year. What are we going to do for your birthday? What do you want to do for your birthday? Eat cake? Anyway. Well, there he goes. Down for the count. Our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits have been as big supporters of us here. We're at MWP for many years. They sponsored the Florida Man Games, sponsored Team Pinellas. We do a lot of fun collabs. We do a lot of charity work together. We've had a lot of fun over the years. They are your Florida home Fine Wine and Spirits. So we appreciate all that they do. Hopefully you support them as they support us. Hey, I got some exciting stuff coming up. I wanted to share this picture Mom sent me. I couldn't find this photo the other day. So I went back on email. It was 2011. I emailed Mom. I said, hey, you got that picture of me watching the shuttle? That was the first space shuttle going up. And I'm excited that they invited me over to NASA, Cape Canaveral, to do a big speech here in a couple weeks. Very humbling to be asked to be speaking in front of all the big NASA employees about weather and what I've learned and messaging and, you know, not all meteorology. Obviously, I'm not a meteorologist, but I do share a lot of real life experiences and common sense approach to weather. And they're going to have me speak, which is pretty cool. Now, one thing I loved about this AI, you know, I like messing around with it. I took this photo and I said, enhance me. That's me. That's little Mike. That's little Mike. I have no idea how old I was. 7 or 8. 6, 7. 6, 7. And I asked it to enhance it with the space shuttle in the background. Well, it misinterpreted it. It didn't see the little dot here. This is what it made. But look at this compared. Look how clear I look. This is like me back in the future. Little Mike. Little me. Look, there's your dad. Look, come here. Look at your daddy. Look, I want to show you your daddy. Look. There's your daddy over there. Look. That's what I look like. 6, 7. So, what a cool thing that was. But that wasn't the real picture. I didn't want to share that. Shelly, when was the first Challenger? That's what year it was. And I can tell you how old I was. So anyway, that's coming up. Pretty excited about it. I also got this not too long ago from a bunch of folks that worked over there. They gave me the United States Space Force Civilian Guardian label pin. And I guess it's pretty prestigious, so I appreciate that. Maybe I'll wear it over there. See, it's a little pin. I'm going to wear it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear it at my NASA gig. So excited about that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 1981, she chimed in. So I was, let's see, born in 73. So I was 11. No, I was still 10 then, I think. I was still 10. No, wait, it wasn't 10. 73. 80. 7. 6, 7. 7, 8. I was born in October, so technically I was, I don't know, 8. Anyway, did you see this yesterday? So we're going to get right into the weather. We're going to say hi in a few minutes. I'm not a math guy. Scott. So yesterday, there are things called Roost rings. People said that was BS. Well, no, it's not. Google is your friend. But yesterday, there was 4 of them. Actually, there was another one down by Okeechobee. But this is so fascinating. The Melbourne radar sunrise is at 7:41. So something in the bird's head at 7:30 when they saw sunrise. Oop, it's time to get up. And they got up and they go out in a big circle. And what's cool is they don't go over the Atlantic because there's probably no reason to go over the Atlantic. So the ones on the coast went inland. The ones around Haines City there in Kissimmee just went out. They're called Roost rings. Thousands of birds. Radar reflectivity hits those birds and comes back and makes it appear that it's rain. It's not. Incredible, right? So that was a neat phenomenon that happens a lot down here in Florida. And it's just crazy to think they take off at the exact same time, 7:30 a.m., sunrise 7:41. There they go, do their thing. Where they go, who knows? But they were off. Thought that was hilarious to read the comments. It was crazy. So here's a radar this morning, just kind of showing you from Texas all the way to the Great Lakes. Judy texted overnight. I was sleeping, Judy, if you're watching. I didn't get your tornado warning. Hopefully it's okay there where you were at in Texas. But strong storms today. We got a nice radar showing pretty much all the way to the Great Lakes, Canada, down to Texas. Yesterday had a tornadoes. This just came out from the National Weather Service. 6 inches possible of hail. Could be a Illinois state record. The previous record was 4.75, shattering the record. All these records, the record's broken no matter what. Illinois hail. Renee, we forgive you. Born in Laurel. If I didn't say it before. 5 years. I like that. So anyway, 6 inches. Extreme hail. Just north of around Chicago area. So there's probably a lot of damage. A lot of cars. I haven't seen anything. Saw anything. I corrected myself there. But that's definitely dents cars, dents roofs, takes away siding of houses. Windshields are demolished. Big tornadoes last night there where that warm front line was. So word of the week has been warm fronts. Okay, that's what a lot of the discussion is on that tornado up in Michigan a couple nights ago that wasn't even under a tornado watch. Wow, right? But there's a warm front boundary, and it just allows it, man. The warm dew points, lift, all that stuff comes together with the jet stream, and we get these big tornadoes. And that's what happened yesterday. We had a line almost like a sea breeze in effect. Storms today, though, look at that. That is one of the largest number 2 out of 5 slight risks I've ever seen, encompassing the whole upper Gulf all the way to the Great Lakes of Pennsylvania there. So everybody's watching for storms today in the green and the yellow now. The green always gets mislooked. It's like the little duck, the little ugly duckling. But the dark green is where we had that EF3 in Michigan 2 nights ago. It can happen. We had an EF3 in Lakeland one time years ago, and it was in the dark green. So don't take your eyes off any of this area. These maps change. You know, I feel silly. Sometimes I'll post one, and then, 6 hours later, there's another one. You just have to be on top of the weather. But then I'm like, it's important to just show the weather event days ahead of time, just so you're aware that there's weather. That's the bottom line. I mean, none of this is exact science. It's just, hey, there's a pretty gnarly squall line, a frontal line coming, and it's going to bring storms. Now, the tornado outlook is a little interesting. It's expanded a lot more off to the east. Now, we got a big chunk of West Virginia there. Kathy, if you're watching, my cousin. Ohio there, Kentucky a little bit, going up into Pennsylvania there, into Maryland. So there's a lot of hatched area. Now, hatched is there a new parameter of possible EF2 or greater? Yesterday we had the number 2 level intensity shown, but still level 1. And notice down on the south, level 1 all the way to the Florida Panhandle. And we can see some strong storms eastward into the Tallahassee almost. So there's storms brewing today. Hatched area tornadoes possibility. So, Tammy, yeah, I saw a bunch of the storm chasers with cracked windshields. It was pretty incredible. For sure. Amy, cheers. What's up? Chris Roth, good morning. So there you go. Day 2 tomorrow. Not expected much. We might see a little bit of one brought in. We'll see. This line is going to come down in the morning time and then through midday across the mid-Atlantic eastern seaboard down possibly into Florida. We'll look at that here in a little bit. I want to see how far this line is going to go into tomorrow, Thursday. But nothing expected as of yet. Okay, now here's the big cool down. A lot of folks share these anomaly maps, as do I. These are next week. Basically just showing you whatever average is for this time of year. It's 10 degrees lower than average. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We're going to be down in there. And then that's going to linger. I was surprised to see today that these 50s across the middle part of the peninsula are going to stick around through the next weekend. Following weekend. Not this weekend, coming up. Following weekend. So we got a lot of weird cold weather back. I put this out there next Tuesday. Now, National Weather Service only goes out 7 days. I like to share National Weather Service graphics because then I can't get accused of hyping too much. But these are Tuesday AM temps. Now, we got 36, 35 showing somewhere in North Florida. I put 36, even though the map said 35. 35 could have been maybe more Georgia, but I did see a 36 there just outside of Crestview. And the Keys are supposed to be 70 degrees Tuesday morning. So, big swing in the temps on Tuesday. We're going to be in the 40s here in Oldsmar, more than likely. Anytime that it's the 50s in Tampa, we're always about 4 to 5 degrees cooler because we have a lot less water impacts because we get the winds from the north with a big preserve to our north, and there's no water to warm that air. The reason Pinellas is always it's a little bit warmer than everybody else is it gets a lot of water, unless it's straight line winds. But usually it gets the bay influence or the Gulf influence to help keep it a little bit warmer than the official Tampa temps. So Wednesday will probably be a little bit cooler than that. Crazy, right? Now here's these long range temps. I just wanted to show you this. All right. So this weekend coming up, tomorrow, here's that front line. It's going to be following whatever's. We're going to look at the storms tomorrow, Thursday. Not expected too bad, but the front's going to start coming down Thursday. Now here's Friday. Look at this. Friday, we're going to be in the 50s. Friday morning. Sarah, if you guys are watching at school, you need to wear your hoodies. I wish Sarah could text me right now. It'd really freak me out if she could text me that she's watching me at school, because they do watch at school. So anyway, Friday morning is going to be chilly. Saturday morning is going to back up a little bit, so it's not going to stick around long. These are low temperatures. You can see it all back up. Now here comes that big front next week. Here's Monday, Tuesday. Now the NWS is a little bit cooler than the Euro, but nonetheless, it gives you an idea. Wednesday is going to be a little bit cooler with 50s all the way down to Naples. And then check this out. This is a week from Wednesday. Look at Thursday. 59 down in Miami. 40s hanging around. This is next Thursday, the 19th. So, and look at this. It sticks around. Here's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, what the hell's going on here? The 23rd of March. So this cool weather could stick around. Now, those are lows. Let's look at highs. I don't see any crazy high like we're seeing today. Here's the high temperature today. We got 90s all the way across south. Now, here comes that first front tomorrow, Thursday. 60s and 70s for the Panhandle. Now, here's Wednesday. This is, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. This is Friday. High temperatures Friday. Still got some 80s down south, but you can see not as much red. Starts to get a little more warmer over the weekend. There's Saturday, Sunday. Now here comes the next front. That is powerful cold front. This is Monday, Tuesday. These are high temperatures. Look at Wednesday. 60s across I-4 for highs. So I don't, see those 80s and 90s anymore. These are high temperatures next week, next Wednesday. Not seeing any 80s. Not 180 in this whole graphic. You can look at the very top right. 78.7 is the highest graphic showing. Somebody's 37, but it's probably been a mountain somewhere. 78.7 is the highest one. We go to Thursday. 70s again for highs. Look at that. Spring break. Ooh, I know. I'm sorry. Highs on Friday, a little bit warmer, upper 70s, couple 80s here and there, and a week from Friday. Slow warm up begins towards the end of the month. So there you go. Not showing any extreme heat until Wednesday, March 25th. That's too far to even take serious. But you get the idea, man. This is it for a while. So the heat today, a little bit tomorrow, and it's going to be gone for a long spell. Crazy, right? Morning, Cayman Islands. Holy moly. Hey, tornado South Louisiana. Josh, we just talked about that. Yes. I don't know if you're going to see him or not. Nobody knows that for sure. But you are in a hatched risk. So you'll probably be under a tornado watch later today. All right, so we're going to talk about some water temp stuff. I want to really get into this. Let me show you something, though. Whoa, not that. Where did it go? Right here. Look right here. We just got more exciting news on our cruise. So Mike's Weather Cruise, our 5th annual, Margaritaville. We basically have 3 days at sea. First day is always kind of a day at sea. So we got a cool thing now. Now we got an official slot pull competition. We did this, I think, on year 2. It was so much fun. We all put in X amount of bucks, and we just kept playing until we all decided to stop. I think we were up to like $800 one time. We all could have netted like 200, or we were up to 8,000. I don't even know. We could have netted like $100 each, and we got greedy and we didn't. But so day 2, we're at Key West. We're doing a private pub crawl just for MWP people, and then Cozumel's going to be fun. We'll probably do something fun there with senior frogs. We always do that. But anyway, we only got like 7 cabins left. It's our biggest group ever, and it's coming up first weekend of June. Margaritaville has become my new favorite cruise line out of Tampa. We've been on all of them, so we can make that opinion. Notice how I said opinion? People don't like other people's opinions sometimes. Richard, man, be safe. You got some tornadoes up there possibly today. So anyway, we'd love to see you there. Call Kim. She's great. All right, water temps. It's so crazy. I looked at it today. I'm like, what? So remember just a couple days ago, we were looking at the water anomaly map here on tropicaltidbits.com, and it was blue. A lot of blue here in the Gulf. Has nothing to do with predicting hurricane season right now, so don't worry yet about that too much. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But look at that, man. That blue is gone. We've had an extremely fast warm-up in the Gulf, and that's because of this persistent, blue sky, heat, record heat. It's been record heat all across the South. And that just warms the water up. And we've had a lot of water pumping up from the Caribbean. But anyway, no more blue. It's crazy. I just can't believe it. Whoa! I didn't mean to answer it. I don't know who I answered. I meant to hang up on him. Who's this guy? Hold on a minute. I just got a Hey Brother email. Oh. So anyway, Clearwater Beach, look at this. 49.3 degrees on February 1st. That's real numbers. I'm going to show you. Everybody thought that was hype. No, but that's Clearwater Beach. Doesn't mean the whole Gulf is 49. But today, we might cross 75. It was 71 just a few days ago. So that's how fast things can change. I always talk about that. A lot of folks get excited because they see it's way below normal, but it doesn't last long. It changes so quick. It changes fast. Now, it is going to hopefully come back down a little bit next week, a little bit. So we won't see this rapid warm-up, but it is, across the. Now, if you look at the actual data from the buoy, people said that there's no way that was possible. Well, it was. February 1st, we had a lot of 49 degrees readings on Sunday, February 1st. That was when we had that extreme cold snap. Unfortunately, it really did a number on our crops and agriculture here the first couple days of February. It was very cold, persistent cold. And it was 49 for a couple days. It dipped back down to 49 here on February 3rd. And you can just see it slowly came back up. We had another little cold snap February 23rd, but here's 60 degrees. But that's just the way it goes. It's just slowly climbing back up. Now it's up to 75. So that's how it works. It was 74.5 yesterday, and it was 49.3 a week ago. So there you go. That's how it happens. Warms up. HRR model. Notice all these hoods here. My Google ads are looking at my my old Mustang. Did I hang up on you, Tim? Were you calling? Maybe you were. I don't know. We had prank calls a lot over the years. I hate it. We had a group that got really kind of crazy on us sometime. We had to call my FBI buddies. I had to scare them a little bit because they were getting kind of weird. So anyway, here is your HRR. So we're going to talk about this. So we're going to focus primarily on the south here, timing and storms. We'll look at tropical tidbits real quick, and then we're going to go to a little more higher resolution. But look at the pretty nasty line of storms here this afternoon. This is Wednesday. You can just see it, man. And it's going to be fueling off the Gulf. We got a lot of instability. It all comes down to that little surface low. Remember we talked about that little surface low trying to develop behind it, which is going to spin up storm possibilities. And that's possible. So overnight, unfortunately, we could see some storms. This is all overnight. I'm kind of going back and forth overnight. We get into tomorrow morning, and that line's still going to be going on. So this is pre-morning hours. This is just past midnight. So we could still see some strong storms, unfortunately. All the way to Tallahassee, possibly. This would be right at daybreak. So, you just can't turn your back on this time of year. We just had the anniversary of the Orlando tornado yesterday. The Tallahassee tornadoes sit well, not too well. Well, they sit fresh in people's minds when we had the 3 tornadoes. But this is, wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the HRRRRRRRR and look at some other parameters. We'll look at some CAPE. CAPE's hard to look at. CAPE is only one part of the puzzle, but it kind of tells you potential of heat energy before storms get there. And this was being talked about a lot last week from some big dog Mets, but the CAPE, anything usually over 1,500, 2,000 range is really a lot of energy in the atmosphere. So you can just see it all across Louisiana and then the Mississippi there. Still got some CAPE here entering Florida and lower, Bama and Georgia there. So there's going to be potential, even down into Florida tomorrow. It's going to be sneaky tomorrow. What kind of thunderstorms we get across the Florida Peninsula. A little bit there for the Atlantic side too. But as your CAPE, showing you that enough energy that could possibly see some isolated severe thunderstorms. Helicity is kind of a shear indicator. It's always hard to really judge, but basically the more color, more condensed is just a lot of atmospheric instability. So when you see that, you're like, yeah, this part here definitely could see something if everything else lined up. And this includes, again, a big part of the upper Gulf, Florida there. All the way to Tallahassee, basically. I see that. And a little bit of energy, but see, it kind of dies out a little bit towards the peninsula. We still have a little bit of high pressure dry air and the low pressure up north pulling out. So it's losing a little bit of pop. But there's, Could be some sneaky little storms there. And then we got supercell composite. I like to look at it. Pretty much just continues the supercell chances in early morning hours. This is 3 a.m. Central. Tallahassee be right at daybreak. So could be some storms. I'm telling you, could be. Could be some sneaky storms into the early morning hours. And here's why I don't like this graphic at all. I hate this graphic. So this is telling you, people see this and they think Wednesday. But in reality, it's Thursday morning too. That's the rough part. This goes into Thursday morning. So it's not just Wednesday, it's Thursday morning. And this graphic says Wednesday on it. But technically it's Thursday. Tricky. Always tricky. And again, it includes a lot of area up here in the northeast too. So yeah, that's tricky to show that. I don't like that at all. But anyway, Thursday morning, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, there's a lot. And we go to significant tornado. STP, Richard Petty. Here we go. These are significant. Anything dark blue just shows you the possibility as long as that's there. So, you know, this whole area, man, watch it. We can see some sneaky storms for sure. I always like to look at, so things I do, like let's say Panama City. Let's just go to Panama City for instance. Let's go to Panama City Beach. We'll go to the National Weather Service offices, and I go down to the forecast discussion, and they'll probably be talking about it. So that they issued their last key messages at 6:50 this morning, and they're going to talk about short-term storms. What's going to favor severe weather is lots of deep layer shear, instability, frontal low developing along the Gulf Coast. That was the low I was talking about yesterday, which would increase the low-level jet, because you get a low, that means you start to get a lot of spin up off of the waters there. Lapse rates, short wave, gusty winds, tornado or two. So they're talking about it. Timing a little faster than 12Z guidance. 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So anyway, I talk about it. Pretty much saying the same thing. That's all we can do. Wait. Hey, look at, we got some snow on the backside of this too. I want to talk about that, because I do like to talk about snow. So really, it's really wild. But look at this. Let's take a look at, I don't know. We'll look at the Mid-Atlantic snow. Not WCPAP. Nah, see, it's not showing much. What the hell? It's not very exciting. A little bit in the mountains. What was that? GFS? That graphic? It must be GFS based. Yeah, obviously GFS based. So what I'm talking about, this graphic right here. This showing 48-hour snow forecast. But if you look kind of on the actual HRR and stuff, or the Euro, you can kind of see snow on the backside, up in the mountains. So let's take a look here. And there's some snow on the Euro in the morning. So there you go. That is in the morning tomorrow. Could be some snow on the backside. GFS a lot heavier. This is overnight into tomorrow morning, so we could see some snow on the backside. HRR a little bit too. So there you go, man. What do you think? Let's see what kind of accumulation we get, if there's anything showing or not here. Snow depth. I gotta tone these arrows down. Let's go new snow. And then there. So the Euro, not showing much for new snow. Mountains, maybe an inch. GFS has really gone high, even with Asheville showing some flurries. Cherokee with some snow. And then we go to the latest HRR. Not really showing much. That's only going out an hour. Thursday. What's up with that? There we go. That makes more sense. So there's some isolated snow on the Euro, mainly higher elevation, and then the NAM, a little more aggressive. NAM's pretty good on predicting it. So yeah, you're gonna get some snow in the upper elevations. You're gonna get some random snow in the backside somewhere. So there's a good chance you're gonna see some snow out of this because it's cold. It's a cold front. It's gonna flatten out. Then now next week's cold front, it's a little more interesting. It's gonna be really bringing some cool air. Now rainfall. This is interesting. We're going to have some rain hanging around. Day 1, here we go. Day 2, look, here comes that tomorrow. That's that unknown on storms Thursday. It kind of makes its way south a little bit, and it's going to linger. So there's Friday. No, that's Friday. That's Saturday. Sunday. Monday. Look at it. See how it lingers? And then we get that front coming down Monday and Tuesday. You can start to see it push it out of here. So we got a lot of chances of some rain here across the southeast, which desperately wants it. Latest HRR or latest Euro here on rainfall, showing you through Monday quite a bit on the Florida West Coast. Look at that. Anything yellow is an inch plus. It's not every day. I mean, here's the front through tomorrow. It's just going to come down and stop, and then it's going to back up a little bit. This is through the weekend. You can just kind of see the rain popping here and there. Let's do 24-hour rainfall, and sometimes it's easier to look at than overall rainfall. So this is the front through tomorrow, and then it kind of pulls out. This is through Friday. You kind of see it stop a little bit, and it's going to back up a little bit over the weekend, and then it kind of backs up through Monday morning. This is Tuesday, and then here comes that front and pushes it on out of here. So tomorrow, and it kind of backs up a little bit, and then early next week it gets a push out of here. So your rain chance are a little higher. Here's, the front coming through Tuesday, Wednesday. That's the Euro. GFS very similar. Here's your 24-hour precip on the GFS. Here comes the front through tomorrow. And through Friday, it backs up over the weekend a little bit. And then into Monday here, it gets that big push out of here. So the front's going to linger, and then it's going to get a push out of here with that cold air behind it. That also means a lot of dry air behind it. I don't know, we don't already have a dry air map. We got a humidity map. Kind of see that dry air coming through. It's be next Tuesday. So we got really dry air for the following Tuesday and Wednesday. Extremely dry air for the mid-Atlantic, East Coast, all the way down. All right, there's that. Waves, let's take a look at waves, because it's probably going to be significant to look at this because of the back-to-back fronts. So let's take a look at that. Look at the Caribbean. And here's your waves through tomorrow. Here's your line through Friday. Not too bad. Obviously, with that front line Thursday, right there, it could be a little choppy on the Florida side here. Winds coming in off of the northeast on Thursday and Friday across the Florida Peninsula there. Then they kind of fizzle out a little bit before our next front comes down. You can see everything gets picked up. Windy again across the Caribbean early in the week. And here comes that next front next Wednesday, pushing down a lot of cold air right there. So it's going to be windy across the south. Week from Wednesday, big time, as this front pushes through. So there's that. So anybody down the Keys, not too bad. Winds will be coming up from the south. Ahead of this front through Friday. Very nice, calm weather down in South Florida for the waves. This is wave maps through Friday. A little choppy over the weekend, but really nothing bad at all. So pretty much this is looking good. Is that a check mark? Check mark. It's just the following week when the big front comes down right there. Might get a little choppy midweek next week as a bigger front comes down. So calm. Enjoy that through the weekend. Everybody down the Keys battled years of some years are very windy, some aren't. So we'll talk about hurricane season real quick. All right. So there's a lot of talk about El Nino, and El Nino usually has reduced hurricanes. A lot of wind shear through the Caribbean. Talking point is that there's less hurricanes during El Nino years. And I think historically there probably is. Okay, but the thing is, one, some of these El Nino years, the rest of the global water temperatures were cooler than they are now. That's going to change things. I don't know how it's going to change things. Last year, we were in the opposite La Nina, and the U.S. did not have one landfalling hurricane last year. Now, water temperatures. Everybody thinks when I post water temperatures maps, I'm hyping hurricane season. Well, water temperatures are a big part of hurricane season. Yes, that's fuel. That's the warmth, the convection. That's what starts the low pressures. That's what starts to spin. But we had warm water temperatures last year. Okay, so warm water temperatures don't always guarantee a bad hurricane season. Just remember that. Last year, if you're worried about a landfalling U.S. hurricane, we had warm waters last year. Warm water is not everything. So, problem with El Nino and telling everybody, less numbers, you think, oh, it's going to be a slow hurricane season. Well, I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of hurricanes during El Nino years, okay? Michael, Florence, 2004 was an El Nino year. Idalia was an El Nino year. So, there's been opposite years where we haven't had any. So it's hogwash to me to when we're only talking things like it only takes one. I know everybody hates hearing that, but front flatten out. It's a good question. I say that a lot. I like that analogy there. I'll tell you who said that. Somebody said that. Can't see the name. Lisa. So anyway, water temperatures don't mean anything guaranteed wise, except it is fuel. El Nino years can produce hurricanes that affect the U.S., among other people. Joaquin was a bad hurricane in the Bahamas during a strong El Nino year, and it didn't, it was close to Florida, but it can still happen. Strong hurricanes can happen. They don't happen as much here, but they do happen here, and they do happen here. So just remember that. El Nino is not a guarantee of not having a landfalling hurricane. So I'm more concerned about water temperatures, long range. That Tropical Tidbits has some tools on water temperatures. And really we only care about Western Atlantic. But if you look at your sea surface temperature anomalies for the months of May, above normal. White's normal for 30 years. White's, it's still 84 to 09. Actually, SIPS is a little more frequent. SIPS is your 81 to 2010 anomaly. Here's May. There's June, July. Water's starting to get hot. August. We start seeing big hurricanes in August. So the water temperatures could be 2 degrees Celsius above normal. There's September, October, November. So still seeing above normal water temperature predicted, and that might offset El Nino. So more than likely, there's October. So more than likely, the official forecast is going to be little less numbers, and that's what everybody's so wrapped up with, is how many, it's going to be a busy year. Only, only takes one or two to make it a busy year. But when fronts flatten out, good question. Hopefully our surface charts will show that here. I learned a lot about this over the years. So right now, here's currently what we got for today. But eventually, the low pressure system that drives these and these tails that hang on, once these low pressure areas start to pull up more to the northeast, they in turn lose a lot of their punch with the fronts, and the front lines usually flatten out, meaning they're losing their pull anymore to allow strong storm systems. So I don't know, when they flatten out, they just lose the jet stream influence. There's less jet stream influence. When your low's up here, you get a big jet stream influence. Well, when we have these big tornadoes and stuff, you get a lot of jet stream influence because the fronts are like that, and you get a lot of jet stream influence. But when the low pulls up, you get a high build back in, and it just flattens out your fronts, and there's just really nothing. Now the highs can continue to push down and get cool weather, but there's just no more jet stream influence, and jet stream influence usually helps boost those big tornadoes. But what we have down in the south is warm water, and we can get, I remember tracking the Panama City tornado a couple years ago, and a lot of it was influenced by the warm waters. So it still can happen. It's just when the fronts flatten out, you lose a lot of that big Midwestern punch that you see with the hail, and cold air makes that big hail from above. But when you lose that, then the fronts just naturally just start falling out. They don't. It's very confusing, but hopefully that makes a little sense. Now, El Nino is interesting because there's a lot of graphics out there talking about El Nino winters and into summer, winter. Now, what happens with this jet stream when you have a strong El Nino, that same jet stream that creates a lot of wind shear in the Caribbean, now can add to any approaching front, let's say, and you get a lot of wind shear, and you get a lot of instability with winds pulling up. And so typically under El Nino, Florida, southeast Florida especially, historically has really bad storms and tornadoes during an El Nino fall and winter, and that's because the jet stream's riding farther south. Jet stream helps make these big bad tornadoes that we're watching yesterday, the day before, and today. It introduces southern jet stream. Well, now you have a lot of instability and winds that can create what it takes to make bigger. Oh my God, Emily, believe me. So Emily goes to a batting practice yesterday, and one of the girls that oh no, every parent can relate to me. All right, so it was so fun yesterday. We go to our batting lesson. Eline, 100%. The Schick family's the best. Erica, if you got any girls in softball, Tampa Bay area. Emily was her first lesson 12 years ago. Great group of girls there. So she wanted me to go to her lesson, which I loved. And I love that she wanted me at her lesson, her hitting. She's been off a little bit on hitting. And she rocked it, by the way. So I was like looking at her bat. And I'm like, hey, I like your bat. What happened to that pink bat you were using? She goes, oh, that one girl left the team, and she was borrowing it. I'm like, so you go buy a bat tomorrow if you want. I'm like, you haven't had a bat in a long time. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I just got a Dick's Capital One message. Did you just try to spend $534 at Dick's Sporting Goods for Emily Boylan's credit card? I'm like, yes. Then I get a text. I haven't even read it yet. Oh. I didn't read that. I don't know if you can read it or not. She ordered it. Morning. Eason just dropped the new bat today, so I just ordered it since you said I could get a new one. Gotta love your kids, right? Anyway. So, hey, we learned a little bit of weather today. Morning, Gisela. Morning, Stuart. Appreciate you watching. Lisa, you're welcome. So, yeah. So, there you go. And let me tell you something. I appreciate y'all listening. Weather could be tricky. We had an EF3 tornado the other day in Michigan that wasn't even under a tornado watch, and it was barely in the level 1 SPC risk. Okay, so weather can happen. Professional or not, weather can happen. So we like to just discuss weather together and watch weather together and realize that things happen. Tim, that means a lot, buddy. Appreciate that. I'm learning a lot. What do you think about this warm? Since you talking about oceanography, it's incredible to watch the shallow shelves of the Gulf warm up so much. I mean, I see it every year. It's not shocking. It's just, we got a very strong Gulf Stream, and it's really pumping in a lot of warm water from the Caribbean. And then over here is shallow shelf, and that's what really warms up fast. But it, fuels off of these warm waters here coming up off the Gulf, and we got a bunch of little loop currents and loop betties out here, and it's just a weird phenomenon. And when you talk about hurricane season, all the 150-mile-an-hour hurricanes that have ever hit the U.S., I think 9 of them, one were tropical storms 2 to 3 days out, but all of them have come through here except for Andrew. So this water just does so much as far as rapid intensification. And, we talk about Michael, Michael formed here. That was a year of El Nino, a lot of wind shear. Idalia formed here. Okay, 2004, we had a lot of wind shear. Jean and Francis. 2018, we had Florence. So, you can have a lot of wind shear in the Caribbean, but you can also see storms figure out a way around, Joaquin was another year, formed right here. So that, it's a talking point, yeah, but the ones you worry about are really close to home with all that hot water. History shows you that. We don't care about way out here because, so much happens out there. The ones that really matter are the ones that pop here overnight. I mean, look at Milton, man. Milton came across as a whole tropical depression from the Pacific, and it came that direction, Barrow was barely hanging on crossing the Yucatan, and it spun up at the last second. And Harvey did the same thing. Harvey was a remnant low, and then the last second it just Cat 4 overnight. So real life, watching these things, man. I'm these long range predictions and stuff. I mean, numbers, yeah, it does affect numbers, but reality, and really, these spring style storms, these water temperatures are this above normal, so you got to figure a lot of times, here's your 7-day change too, which is really showing you this is your 7-day sea surface temperature change. That's how hot the water's changed in 7 days. I mean, that is incredible. Almost 4 to 5 degrees Celsius warmer. But any potential thunderstorm out there, a lot of these models are based on history. And history, when the water's cooler, warmer water is going to allow these storms to just spark a little bit more power, And that's where we get these anomaly storms sometimes that, like, where'd that come from? Well, it's because of water's fuel. So anytime that water's hot, man, I know you dip your toes in the water and you're like, oh, it's cold. Well, it is cold, but it's it's the anomaly of this time of year and what storms used to, you know, have to work with versus what they got now. And, you know, it's just a little warmer than normal. Don't know why. Could be a cycle. The weekly departure from normal. Here, let's take a look at another data. Let's look at sea surface temperatures. And there you go. So, you know, we're already 80 down here. Not to say it's going to happen, but I think the GFS was spitting off a damn tropical system the other day. Here's 80 degrees. So it's already 80 degrees across the Gulf Stream. I mean, yeah, it's still cold. I don't think this is updated correctly. These update, oh, 3.8. Look at that. It hasn't even updated since 3.8. That's why. But it was around 70 3 days ago. But anyway, 80 was 3 days ago across the Caribbean. But the GFS, let's see, I think the GFS was actually showing a system. I saw somebody shared it. I was like, well, you never know. From an old front. Obviously, yeah, well, it probably was this little setup here. Let's see, 00Z. What's interesting though, see, we're starting to see, you know, old fronts starting to do things on the models. There's a little low pressure area there. Could be argued that it might be trying to become subtropical. We've had preseason systems in January and other months form right here, so that would not be unheard of, believe it or not. 18Z is always known for crazy shenanigans. Nothing. Oh, another one right there. Let's see. Yesterday's probably was 12Z. It did it. Yeah, see right there. No, that wasn't it. Yep, there it is. So yesterday's 12Z spun up a little thing by the Yucatan from an old front. And it's cool. I mean, it's cool to see on the maps, but there's your old front line 10 days from now. Look, tails of fronts historically could spin up into little spinners. God, we're going to be looking at tropical maps too much longer. Do I still have any on here? I might have to change my website around a little bit. Oh, I still have this little area here now. So, anyway, I usually go an hour. I went way past that. Yeah, dry summer, no trouble. We need tropical activity. You're right. Historically, it is amazing. So, all right, cool beans. Well, you've not seen ABC in a long time. Why is that? Because you haven't been in Florida? Mike, hey James, nope, she's playing a bunch of stuff in spring break coming up, man. I'll try to get the schedule figured out. Sahara and Dust, Tammy, good question. It's already kind of been out there. Big talking point early in the year, but we don't really see anything in the Atlantic to even talk about until maybe August. Beryl was a really rare July storm that came across the Atlantic. Very rare. So, anyway, Friday's a big possibility, Shelly. I'll let you know. Don't know. She might have a game Friday. I got to get the exact time. It might be over in the other coast somewhere. So, might have another day off from the Daily Brew. Oh my God, and next week's her spring break, man. So, hey, after next week, things are like slowly coming back down to normal again. I forgot to tell you, we might be out of town Monday for spring break for her games in Winter Haven, possibly. Tracking cold fronts next week. So, do you think it's going to storm tomorrow? I'm really curious about this panhandle. We're going to keep a close eye on this panhandle situation tonight. I know we got a lot of folks in that area here watching. Line embedded tornadoes are persisting tonight across the Gulf Coast. So definitely, really curiosity here is what's going on right there tonight, overnight, all the way to Tallahassee. I'll be really focusing on that a lot today. So, anyway, that's it for me. Anybody have a boat? Does anybody ever forget to pull the boat plug out and it seizes and you just give up and you just buy a new plate? That's the state I'm in right now. Because there ain't no way in hell I'm getting that out of there. Not worth the $10. So, all right, we'll see y'all hopefully Friday, if not sometime. I'll put the schedule on our webpage, obviously, as I have now for years. Hopefully, you know it's there.